Kyle Krabs of the Draft Network here from day 2 of Reese's Senior Bowl 2022 practices, and my day today was spent in the trenches. And here are my top 5 performers from Wednesday practice on the line. Northern Iowa offensive tackle Trevor Pening was a standout to me, and this guy knows his way to my heart because he was super chippy throughout the course of the national practice. Pening comes in with a first-round valuation from the Draft Network scouting staff, but the biggest question was how his FCS level of competition was going to translate here in Mobile. And needless to say, it's translated just fine because he was throwing dudes around throughout the entirety of Wednesday's practice. Minnesota pass rusher Boye Maefe was another guy that popped to me, and this was somebody who I was able to do the full deep dive evaluation on before coming down here to Mobile, and it was very clear and evident that Maefe has high-level athleticism based on the way he was used at Minnesota. That athleticism really popped today, whether it was the figure-8 drill or the pass rush one-on-ones. His flexibility and body control, plus the explosiveness that he brings, over 250 pounds, is a really impressive combination, and I feel like this is somebody who has the potential to be a much better pro than he was college player. Keeping things on the defensive side of the football, Oklahoma defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey really popped to me as well. The reason being, this was a guy who at Oklahoma had to play on the nose. He was playing nose tackle, head up over top of centers. Well, he's in a little bit of a different environment here in Mobile, and it's a good lesson from scouting players. Make sure you don't assume because a player didn't do something at the college level that they can't actually do it. Winfrey took over the team practice, the team session, 11 on 11, and was very disruptive, something he didn't really get a chance to shine at because he faced a lot of double teams being over top of centers while playing at Oklahoma. His presence was impossible to miss over the last half hour of the national practice. Speaking of impossible to miss, Florida State defensive end Jermaine Johnson for the second consecutive day. My goodness. And I could tell you all the great things that Jermaine Johnson did at practice, but make sure you check out Joe Marino. He's going to get on the soapbox, and he is going to preach the gospel about Florida State defensive end Jermaine Johnson because we're only seeing the things here in Mobile that we also saw on tape, and Joe wants to make sure that you guys appreciate what he was able to do this year for the Seminoles. A standout for the American team, for me, was a new addition to the roster for Wednesday's practice, Sam Williams from Ole Miss. One of our scouts, Dre Harris, has had nothing but good things to say about Sam Williams when he went through his regional scouting and gave him a very high grade. And it's easy to see why. This is another 250-pound versatile pass rusher who showcased a lot of burst off the edge and a pretty good presence and understanding of how his length can help him win in pass rush situations. But the rep that really popped to me was he got off the line of scrimmage with a really explosive first step and then proceeded to turn a tight angle and got 20 yards downfield in pursuit and beat the ball carrier to the sideline. That kind of motor and effort does not go unnoticed here in Mobile. While Sam Williams popped for his motor, Kingsley Agbari, the defensive end from South Carolina, flashed for his power. In one of the first sessions of the American practice, he was matched up with one of the tight ends on the roster and proceeded to drive him 15 yards into the backfield. And the coaches said, okay, we're going to break. Let's go ahead and reset that. And while they were getting lined up, Agbari made sure he called out all the teammates on the American roster lined up behind him and said, get out of the way. We're going to go ahead and do it again. And damn it, if he didn't do it again. But Agbari was not just a one-trick pony in this practice. He consistently showcased heavy hands, and that's where he won at South Carolina. It's where you expect him to win in the NFL, and I thought he had himself an impressive performance today. Thanks for watching. If you agree with my players who flashed at practice, or if you thought somebody else flashed during Wednesday's practices in the trenches, make sure you comment below and let me know. Like the video, hit subscribe, and make sure you stay plugged in at the Draft Network for continued coverage of the 2022 Senior Bowl.